guys, so today's video is going to be another haul video, but after this I think I'm just going to cut myself off because this is not stuff that I literally only bought this month. This is over like the past, I would probably say June through August, I think, or maybe like the start of July till the end of August. So I cannot believe like August is already going to be over in like a week. It's like crazy how fast time has been going. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So I have some stuff from Ulta. I have some stuff from Sephora. And I have two new indie brands that I've never tried before. And I have some stuff from Len Bunny and also Colourpop. But honestly, like Colourpop, I really haven't been too interested in over the past couple of months, but I did pick up a couple of these products like at I think the end of June. So I did pick up a couple of things from Colourpop's website. So the first thing is a repurchase, and I was kind of missing this in my collection. So I decided to just pick it up, and I've used it a ton already, and I just absolutely love this product. I really was missing this in my collection. So I got another one of my Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizers. This one's in the shade Fair 1N. This is probably the only tinted moisturizer in the past like couple of years that I've actually used up completely. So I'm trying to work on some of my other tinted moisturizers, but I absolutely love this one. And like I said, it's in the shade Fair 1N. I think this is still my top favorite tinted moisturizer besides the Tower 28 one and the Urban Decay Hydromaniac. But the reason why I really love this one is because this one is just so lightweight, so easy to use, and it just blends on the skin seamlessly, and it literally feels like I'm wearing nothing, but it always makes my skin look so naturally beautiful. So I picked up another one of these. I'm trying not to get too many complexion products. Like I was at Sephora today because I'll tell you guys why a little later. But anyway, love this, so I wanted to get another one. So that's the first thing. And then I was kind of interested in getting one of the new bronzer sticks. So I got the bronzer stick in the shade Laguna Beach, and I actually really have been loving this. I've actually never owned a cream bronzer before this one, and I was like, well, what better time to try, or what better brand to try a cream bronzer from than Colourpop? So I picked up the shade Laguna Beach. You guys know how much I love, and this is what the shade looks like, and you guys know how much I love, and that's what it looks like blended out. It's just a really, really good shade for me. I'm actually wearing this on my face today, and I really have been enjoying this. I've been using this a ton since I got it. It's just a really easy cream bronzer to use. I like this more than the Tower 28 one because this one has a bit more pigmentation to it, and I just really like how it makes my complexion look after I use it. I think it's a really nice, very natural, easy bronzer stick, and I just really have been enjoying this. And like I said, I've been using it a ton. And you guys know how much I love the bronzers, the blush sticks, and the highlighting sticks. I love the cream blush sticks. They're like one of my favorite products from Colourpop. I think they're so underrated, and they're some of the best cream blushes I've tried. I actually, right after I made this order, the regular cream blushes came out from Colourpop, like the ones in like the regular compacts, not in the sticks. They released like actual cream blushes. But after watching like a few reviews of them from like Batty Bean and Angelica Nyquist and Morgan Turner, they all said that they're like extremely sheer and very light and don't really build that well. So I'm kind of glad that I skipped over those and I just got the stick because I really, really like this product. So I'm just going to put this one right next to me because I've been using it all the time and it's been sitting in my haul bag like forever. So now I can use this other lucky bag to throw all of my empties into. So, and then I wanted to pick up a couple of the reformulated lip products that they released. So I picked up 3 of the newer formulated lipsticks. So I picked up one of the ultra matte lips, one of the ultra blotted lips, and one of the ultra glossy lips. So the ultra matte lip shade that I got is the shade Double Date. And I have used this one a couple of times. Of course, I picked up one of the nude shades because, hello, it's me. But I have used this a couple of times, and I do really like this shade. And that's what it looks like. It's a really pretty warm tone nude. I'll tell you guys my thoughts of these after I swatch them for you. And then I got the Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade I thought it was She's Still an Icon, but it's called Still an Icon. So it's like a really pretty, like, mauve-y pinky shade. I thought I got more water, but I did not. So I'm going to have to go do that before I talk about more products. So that one is the Ultra Blotted Lip. It's like that pinky shade. It's a really pretty shade. And then the last one is the Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Sugar Cookie. And I believe, I was about to say Sugar Coated. Why am I reading these names so randomly? I don't know why. So this one is the shade Sugar Cookie, and this one is, I think, well, this is the Ultra Glossy Lip, and I think I actually had owned this in the past, like, when they first released the Ultra Glossy Lips. I'm talking, like, maybe, like, 5 years ago at least. And then they said that they were reformulating them, so I wanted to pick up one of them. And the reason why I really wanted to get the Ultra Glossy Lip this time is because they changed the applicator back to a doe foot. When they came out with more shades, like a couple of years back, like this is before they reformulated them, and like they changed the applicator on them. So they were a brush tip applicator, and I hated that applicator because it made them so thick and hard to apply over like lipsticks, because like any of the lip glosses that you would use to try to put on over a lip product, like if you wanted to wear it over a lipstick, it just didn't go on like smoothly. With the doe foot applicator, it just makes it so much easier. And I think that this is the lip product that I've used the most since I got this order, because I really like the newly reformulated Ultra Glossy Lips the most out of the 3 lip formulas that I got. I just wanted to put on a little bit over the lipstick that I'm wearing, and I think that looks really pretty. It's just a very lightweight, very comfortable gloss formula, and I really am enjoying this new lip formula. It kind of really reminds me of the So Glassy lip formula, though. It's very similar, and I feel like it almost has a similar finish too. So, but I still really like it, and this is one of the only glosses that I've picked up this year. With the Ultra Matte Lip and the Ultra Blotted Lip, I don't really see too much of a difference between the older and the newer. Honestly, the newer Ultra Matte Lip formula, it is more comfortable than the older ones, but for me, like, I actually liked the older ones because they lasted a really long time. I don't know why my nose is so itchy right now. I'm sorry. I keep on scratching the side of my nose. It's driving me nuts. But this kind of like makes my lips a little bit wrinkled when I put it on, so I'm not really a huge fan of that. But it looks good, and it does last a decent amount of time. Honestly, the one I'm not too crazy about is the Ultra Blotted Lip. I've never really been crazy about the Ultra Blotted Lips. I didn't really like the original version. I liked the ones that they came out with in the like ultra glowing lip packaging. They came out with Ultra Blotted Lips in that form, and I like those. I think that those are the best Ultra Blotted Lips because they're kind of more like a lip blur. But the newer ones are kind of just like a less pigmented version of the Ultra Matte Lip, and they're not really like they're not really like this on your lips. It kind of builds up to be more matte than it is like kind of like a sheer blotted type of look. So I would say like I wouldn't really waste the time getting these. I think that the glossy lips are the best out of the 3. So that is all the Colourpop products I got. Like I said, I didn't get that many because there really hasn't been anything too interesting from Colourpop that I've seen lately. So that's everything from Colourpop. Now let's move on to a new indie brand to me. I have the stuff out right here. So I did pick up a couple of things from the brand Klarity Cosmetics. They've been on my list for quite a while. So I finally just decided to pick up some of their stuff because they actually have been having a couple of sales lately and they've been doing 35% off. I think also they want to get rid of a lot of their older products because they've been re-releasing or redoing a lot of their eyeshadow palettes. So they've been getting rid of like older products. So they had a couple of 35% off sales lately. So I decided to take advantage of them and they have been on my list for quite a while to try. So I finally picked up one of the eyeshadow palettes and this is I have 4 eyeshadow palettes in this haul video. Yeah, I know. But it's over the past like 2 months. So I got this back in like July. So this is the Klarity Cosmetics I Love Coffee palette. And this is of course like their most neutral palette that they offer. And then this is what the palette looks like on the inside. And then on the inside, the other side of the palette has a little mirror. And then it also has like a little latte menu, which I think is so adorable. And it tells you like all the shades and everything in the palette. So when you fold it back, it does reveal the eyeshadow palette. I just want to say this palette does get incredibly messy because the matte shades have a lot of kickback in the actual pan. But when you put it on the eyes, there's really not too much fallout, except for like with the darker shades, but that's why I always do my eyeshadow first, so it doesn't really bother me. And I do think that these mattes perform very well, so it's not really an issue for me if there's kick up. I'm just saying that's why it looks so messy. I have used it quite a few times, but just forewarning you, if you don't really love that, I don't really mind it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 mattes and 4 shimmers. So we have whipped cream, cream no sugar, caramel cream frap, iced coffee, latte love, macchiato, cappuccino, espresso, americano, extra hazelnut, decaf please, and I like my coffee black. So I really actually have been enjoying this palette's formula. I think the shimmers in here are stunning. They are some of the most metallic, wet-looking shimmers I've ever tried. They are beautiful on the lid. And the mattes blend really, really nicely. Very pigmented, but they're very blendable and easy to use. So I actually really have been enjoying this palette, and I think it's a really good neutral palette for me. So I'm just going to swatch a couple of the shimmers for you guys because they're so gorgeous. Like, they're insanely shimmery and beautiful. Like, look how wet looking those are. These are like some of the most wet looking powder shimmers I've ever tried. Like, they're so opaque. So this one is iced coffee and this one is caramel cream frap. Those are definitely my 2 favorites. And then I'll just swatch a couple of the mattes for you guys. Again, the mattes are very nice, really pigmented. So this one is espresso. And then I'll just swatch one more for you guys. Let's do Latte Love. Again, very pigmented and very blendable. So I really have been enjoying this palette. So I think the palette, out of everything that I ordered, is my favorite thing because I think that this just blends out really nicely. And again, the shimmers are stunning. So that is the eyeshadow palette that I got. And then I also decided to pick up 2 of the blushes. So I got the Cashmere Pressed blushes, and I got the shades Boo Thing and Honey Mustard. So this shade Boo Thing is kind of like a peachy color, and this is what the packaging looks like. So it's like a really pretty like apricot-y peachy color, and they are really, really nice, very pigmented. So that one is what is this one again? Boo Thing. And then the other one is called Honey Mustard. I've used Boo Thing twice. I've only used this one once because, like you guys know, I've been picking up like 10 million blushes this past month. So this one is the shade Honey Mustard. But, again, beautiful shade. Really, really fun, yellowy, mustardy kind of shade. But these blushes are so pigmented, almost too pigmented, that you barely need to tap your brush into the pan. and you're going to get full-on pigment because, like, when you dip your brush into this, it kind of, like, kicks up a bunch of product. It doesn't, like, go on your face or, like, is too powdery, but you could tell when I swatch it, it kind of just, like, there's a lot of product that comes off the pan. And that's what happens, like, when you dip your brush into it. So I literally have to go, like, not even, like, a little bit of a tap, and I'm going to get full-on pigment. So I have to, like, dip it onto, like, a tissue or something to, like, kind of shear it out, and then I'll apply it. And then literally you're going to have full-on pigment. So just letting you guys know from my experience, if you guys were interested in picking up any of these shades for yourself. But the shade selection is gorgeous. Honestly, I feel like some high-end brands need to take notes on the shade selection that indie brands have for their blushes, because the blush shades are stunning. It was so hard for me to not get more than 2. I was like, they are so pretty. But I was like, no, Caitlin, just get 2. You already have enough freaking blushes to kill somebody. So, and then the last thing that I got is one of the liquid lipsticks, and this is the liquid lipstick, I don't know why I say liquid lipstick lip gloss, but okay, in the shade Brinks. So this is what the packaging looks like, and it's a really small little tube, which I actually really like because it's like a super easy little tube to store. So this is the shade Brinks. Now, again, the shade selection on these were so pretty, but this was literally just the first color that I saw that I was like, I really like this shade. So this is the one I decided to pick up. Now, I do like this. It's very comfortable on the lips, but I'm not in love with it. It's nice, but it kind of gives, like, again, like a little bit of that, like, wrinkly effect on your lips. And it kind of starts to get a little bit crepey throughout the day, but it's not like anything bad. Like, once you reapply it, it's fine. I've only used this once, though. Every other lip product I'm talking about, I probably have used a few times at this point, but I would say that there's another liquid lipstick formula that I prefer over this one in this video, but I do like them, but I'm not, like, completely in love. So I'm glad that I only picked up one shade. So that is everything that I got from Klarity. So now let's move on to Ulta. Just give me a second. Okay, so I did get a couple things from Ulta. So the first things that I wanted to talk about are the 2 products that I got from the brand About Face. So this is the About Face brand by Halsey. And Halsey is a American singer, an American music artist, and she has a makeup line called About Face. So I saw this available at my Ulta, and usually my Ulta doesn't get, like, any of the new brands that come to Ulta. I keep on wanting to say Sephora, but I'm like, no, Caitlin, you're talking about Ulta. And they never end up getting half of the brands that I see that are coming to Ulta. They're like, oh yeah, Natasha Denona's coming to Ulta, Chanel's coming to Ulta, Dior's coming to Ulta, and they never come to my Ulta location. So I usually just order the things that I want. If, like, a Natasha Denona palette is a better deal on Ulta, then I'll just get it on there and I'll just order it. So anyway, so I saw these at my Ulta and I was like, ooh, I'm kind of curious about her brand. So I got one of the cream blushes and I got one of the liquid lipsticks. So this is the Cheek Freak Blush Balm in the shade Raunchy. So the shade selection of her cream blushes are really, really unusual, but I like them because they're very appealing to, like, medium to dark skin tones. They did have a couple of colors for fair complexions like myself. I really love the packaging. It's, like, really nice, soft plastic packaging, and it's just really nice. And then this is what the shade looks like. And I really, really like this cream blush. This is probably the blush I've worn the most in this haul video and, like, in general, because this was one of the first blushes that I got, like, I think back in the end of June. And it's a really, really pretty, like, nice peachy color. So, and I really like the formula. It's very soft, like, cream to powder type of formula. And I probably used this blush like 4 times at this point. and it's really nice. I am going to be working on a cream blush video where I just tell you guys, like, because I've been trying a lot of cream blushes lately, and a lot of brands came out with cream blushes lately because for some reason in the summertime everybody remembers to come out with a cream blush. I don't know why. Like, we have other things besides cream blushes, but for some reason it's always just that. But that one is really, really good. I would definitely recommend it if you were eyeing anything from About Face. The cream blushes are really, really good. And then the other thing that I got is one of the liquid lipsticks. So this is the Painted Matte Lip Color in the shade Slumber. And I really, really like this formula. This is probably my favorite liquid lipstick formula in this whole video. So this is what the packaging looks like. Really, really nice. Again, very nice, soft plastic, almost like kind of glass-like plastic packaging. It's really nice. And this is what the shade looks like. It's a really pretty, like, more cooler tone brownie kind of shade, but the lip, like, the formula is so comfortable. You barely feel like you're wearing anything. So this is a really, really nice formula. I'm definitely enjoying this one the most. So I definitely recommend, again, one of the liquid lipsticks if you've been eyeing them. I just want to wipe off the liquid lipsticks that I'm swatching, because if I don't, they're going to stay on my hand like forever. So that is both of the things that I got from About Face. I thought I had a couple more things from Ulta, but I only have like 3 more things. So first thing is I just picked up a backup of my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is going to be my second one. I'm currently still finishing up the other one, but I'm almost done with it. I literally have like this much left, so I just wanted to pick up a backup of my favorite long-lasting primer. Just e.l.f. makes really, really good primers, so I just picked up another one of those. I'm just gonna throw this one in my bathroom. And then I also got another one of the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration face creams. It's in my bathroom, so I was just gonna tell you guys that I picked up another one. This has become my favorite moisturizer I've ever used. Like, it literally, I love the CeraVe night cream, and I really like the, what's the other one? I was using the Inkyless one for a while, but both of those are just a little bit too creamy and not hydrating enough. Like, this reminds me of like the Laneige water cream, but unscented. And it's smooth enough and lightweight enough and like hydrating enough that it's not like a thick kind of creamy consistency, because sometimes I just needed something that was super hydrating, and I used this so much when my skin started, you know, having those allergic reactions again, and this has just been the most gentle moisturizer on my skin. So I've just been using drugstore skincare now. I know, shocking, but I've just been using CeraVe, Aveeno, and e.l.f. Those are like the only 3 brands that I've been using, and this is fantastic. So this is definitely my moisturizer of choice now. I'm never repurchasing a different one. Or if I want to change it up, I mean, I know this has hyaluronic acid in it, and when I went to the allergist, she said try to avoid that. But I think my skin is okay having hyaluronic acid added and not just using hyaluronic acid by itself, if that makes any sense, because the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Moisturizer also has hyaluronic acid in it, but those things don't break me out. This definitely doesn't break me out because I've been using this a lot, and it's a really, really good moisturizer. So, really love that. And then I also got just a backup of my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I took this out and started using it already because it's my favorite concealer. So this is the Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser, and this one's in the shade 95, which I believe is the lightest shade that they have. And this is just my favorite concealer. I just purchased another one, I believe, again at the end of June. And I go through these constantly. This is probably like my 5th one at this point. So I just got another one of those. And then the last thing that I got from Ulta, I actually ended up, I think, returning 2 things. I bought the Tarte, like, light highlighting powder, And I also bought the Bare Minerals like bronzer or blush, like the blush bronze, no, the blush highlight kind of hybrid. And I ended up not liking either of them. I tried to try the Tarte highlighter, and it was just super chalky on my skin, so I just returned that right away. I saw Morgan Turner use it in one of her Tarte videos, like a full face of new Tarte products. And I just, when she was like, oh, I really like this, but like for me, it just didn't do anything. So I ended up returning that. Like, I like light highlighters. Like, I like light highlighters that have like a sheen to them and still look like they highlighted my cheeks. But like with that, it just was so flat and chalky that it didn't do anything. And then with the Bare Minerals like highlighter blush hybrid, it's not like illuminating on your skin. Like you would think it would have a little bit of like a sheen to it when you put it on. But after I put it on, like it just didn't look like even like as luminescent as like the not the Milk Makeup, the Milani Luminous Baked Blushes. I would just say get one of those. Way cheaper than Bare Minerals, and those have been like one of my favorites for years. And they actually add like a sheer, like a luminescent kind of quality to your cheekbones. So the Bare Minerals one I felt like didn't do anything. And also like I tried to use it like kind of as like a blush top or two, and it was way too dark for my skin. So I was like, I don't need this, because I've already bought enough blushes again to kill somebody, that it's like I don't need to keep a blush hybrid product that I'm not crazy about. So I returned that too. And I exchanged it for two things, and I'm going to return the other thing that I got. This is the only thing that I'm keeping. So I got one of the NYX Fat Lip Oils because I really wanted to try one of these for a while, ever since they came out. So this is the shade Follow Back, and this adds like a really nice, super glossy. It's kind of similar to one of the other products that I'm going to show you that I got from Sephora. But it's a very nice, like, sheer lip oil glossy kind of product, and it's really pretty. So the only thing that I'm not too crazy about is the scent, but it's very comfortable on the lips and very hydrating. So I've been really liking this. I've used it a couple of times. I used it to go to the beach, and I actually really liked it. So I would like to keep this in my drawer, but I don't think it's even going to fit. So that is everything that I got from Ulta. Yeah, so now let's move on to Sephora. Okay, so let's move on to Sephora, and then we have two indie brands to talk about. So I have a couple of products from Sephora, so I'm just going to take them all out, and we're going to show you guys what I got, because I'm a psycho. So I got a few things. I didn't go like too ham, because obviously I just got a bunch of stuff from Sephora, so I didn't need to get like a gajillion things, but I got like a couple of new things. Like, we got a couple new concealers. We got a new eyeshadow palette. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette first. So Natasha Denona came out with a brand new eyeshadow palettes. And if y'all know me, I love my neutral palettes. I also love Natasha Denona. She's literally the only mainstream brand of eyeshadows that I still purchase, because she's the only one. She's literally like miles ahead on her color stories and what her customer base wants, that I feel like Pat McGrath needs to take notes, because I don't know what Pat McGrath is doing. But when Pat McGrath, like I said, releases like a new product that's not an eyeshadow palette, I actually am very super curious about it, and I usually end up picking it up. But also, I think from what I saw, either from the Fancy Face, or I think it was Angelica Nyquist, because the Fancy Face doesn't purchase Natasha Denona, but like what I saw from Angelica Nyquist after she reviewed this palette, she said that she thinks that Natasha Denona is doing away with the $129 palettes and just releasing the midi palettes now, which is so much smarter and business savvy than what Pat McGrath is doing. I mean, again, I love Pat McGrath. I'm not saying that I don't like Pat McGrath. I love her products, but she needs to kind of cater a little bit more to like more mid-range, like high-end prices and not like super luxury prices when it comes to her eyeshadow palettes, because people are starting to lose interest in the motherships because they're all fucking pink. They're literally all pink. Like with Natasha Denona, at least you're getting like a different, unique color story every single time. And clearly it's been working for me because I've literally picked up her last like 2 palettes already. So anyway, this is the brand new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette. And of course, y'all know I was going to pick this up. So this is what the packaging looks like. And I am absolutely, utterly obsessed with this packaging. It's so nice. And this feels so weighty and substantial. It feels like a luxury quality packaging, not like Charlotte Tilbury, which I don't buy from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't buy from Hourglass anymore. I just refuse to support those brands because Charlotte Tilbury is just way overpriced. I just think that Natasha Denona prices her products and tailors her products more so to the everyday consumer rather than somebody that can drop like $200 on an eyeshadow palette. Like, she knows her audience. So when this palette came out, it sold out for good reason because it's a neutral palette. And I have been dying for her to come out with a midi palette in like a more neutral color story, because I know she has the bronze palette, I know she has the glam palette, but those 2 palettes have never really appealed to me until this one came out. I thought that the mix of tones was so pretty in here, but I have my thoughts about it. So this is what the palette looks like first off. So we have 7 mattes, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe it's 8 shimmers. So we have Stone, Whisper, Ella, Vague, and Travertine. Then we have Delilah, Silhouette, Muse, Fair, and Filigree. And then we have Witch, Sheen, Tender Mesh, and Mia. So I am wearing this on my eyes today. And the shimmers in here are really, really pretty. But I wish that there was like one more deepening matte in here. I kind of wish almost that we had like something kind of pinky brownish, like something that leans more towards the warmer tones in here. But I understand this palette is supposed to be a cool tone neutral palette. And when I opened it, my jaw dropped because I thought that the shimmers were just so stunning. And this is a beautiful color story. But I just feel like I'm getting a little bit bored with the looks that I'm doing, because after being so blown away by the Yucca palette and the My Dream palette, those are still my 2 favorite palettes from Natasha Denona because they have much more range and depth in the matte shades. And they do have less shimmers. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having more shimmers in it. I mean, obviously, I didn't make the palette, so it's not going to be tailored to just what I want. But I'm just saying, like, as a neutral palette lover, I do think that the mattes are just lacking a little bit in the depth range. But I also understand with Natasha Denona that she's known for her shimmers and kind of doing like, you know, very like sparkly, shimmery looks, that I kind of get that she's kind of going back to that. Like with the glam palette, there was only 5 only 5 mattes in the glam palette, and then the bronze palette, I think there's less mattes too. So she's kind of going back to that kind of format. And again, she is a shimmer girl. So, there, like, I understand if, like, because that's how her older palettes used to be, is very shimmer focused. And I get that. But, like, I feel like with the shade Silhouette, we could have went with something just even deeper, just to add a bit of that depth and dimension that, like, you know, not just myself, but other people might want if they want to go deeper in the mattes with this. But also, I think that this is a really good palette to mix and match with some of her other palettes. Like, I feel like the My Dream palette and this palette and the Retro palette and this palette will go really well together. So I actually did that yesterday and it looked really pretty. So that's my thoughts on the palette. I have a full first impressions on this palette and I did 2 different looks for you guys. I did one cool tone look and one warm tone look so I could show you guys, you know, the range and what the looks would look like. And I understand with the looks that you do with this palette are going to be very similar, but it doesn't really bother me. Again, I'm getting a little bit bored, but every time I do appreciate that there are different finishes of shimmers in her palettes, because that's what makes her palette so much fun, is that, you know, these are regular standard shimmer formula. This is like a super sparkly shimmer. This is the same formula as the Yucca palette shimmers. This is like the new formula that she released in that. This is a very super sparkly color. I love this shade called Muse. And then these colors, did I say all the shades already? I'm pretty sure I did. And then the shades Sheen, Mia, and Delilah are all new sparkle finish shimmers. And I've actually tried 2 of them on my lid. I'm still in the process of trying this palette and they are beautiful. So I'm not saying this isn't a beautiful palette. That's why I bought it. And this one had more appeal to me than the Glam palette because, like, I'm not like a super cool tone neutral girl, but I appreciate the cool tones that are in here because they're not super gray leaning. So what I'm wearing on my eyes today is that I took mesh in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with, I think it was Tender. Yeah, I used Tender and then I used Silhouette on the outer corners. That's basically the shade I've been using in every look on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went in with the shade Filigree today. And it's a really pretty, like, super chocolatey brown. And then for the brow bone, I went in with Fair, which again has been the brow bone highlight I've been going in with, obviously. And then for my inner corners, I went in with the shade Travertine, which is a really unassuming kind of shade because I thought it was going to be like too dark for the inner corners. But it's actually really pretty. So let's swatch some of these for you guys. So let's swatch some of the shimmer shades. So this one is Muse, this one is Ella, and then this one is Mia. And they're all beautiful shimmers. And I think I've used all of these once because I'm still in the process of testing this palette, but they're all stunning. That shade Muse is insane how reflective it is. This one is Ella and this one is Mia, and Mia's that new like super sparkly shimmer formula. Again, stunning, just stunning. So, and then let's just swatch a couple of the matte shades and then we need to move on because I have a couple more things to talk about. Whew. And I'm getting a little bit out of breath already. But let's just swatch a couple of the matte shades. Those are just the 2 warmer shades because y'all know I love the warmer tones. They're definitely more pigmented on my eyes, but this one is Vague and this one is Wit, and they are beautiful. So I have really been enjoying this palette. I think that there's a bunch of different things that I can still do with this palette. I just have been doing like regular standard neutral looks with it, and they do turn out really beautiful every single time that I use them. So yeah, I'm not going to ramble anymore about the palette. You guys can check out the first impressions on this, but I really am enjoying it. So, and I think the more and more I use it, the more and more I really like it. And then I also got 2 new concealers from Colourpop because it is concealer season according to Morgan Turner. So 2 brands that I really love and 2 brands I have been waiting for them to come out with concealers have launched concealers. So the first one I was so excited for. This is definitely the one besides the House Labs concealer, which I cannot wait to get for it to release, but that doesn't come out till September. But I wanted to get the new Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Awakening concealer. So this one's in the shade 120. And I really do love the foundation. So I was hoping that his next release was going to be a concealer. And I 100% predicted that he was going to come out with a concealer soon, and I'm glad that he did. So this is the brand new Makeup by Mario concealer, and I really, really like this concealer. I tried this concealer out in the Natasha Denona first impressions video, so you guys can see me try out the concealer as well. I also really like the applicator. It just applies beautifully. This is a really, really beautifully formulated concealer. It's very creamy, but also you can feel that it's very opaque. And also it just blends out so beautifully, and it perfects your under eyes, but it doesn't look like too matte or too like flawless. It just looks beautiful, and it blends so beautifully with the foundation. These were meant for each other. And usually I don't absolutely love the coinciding concealers that come out with foundations. 99% of the time I end up not liking them. But the concealers that have been coming out lately have been more so the type of finish and formula of concealers that I really love. Like, they're more lightweight, but they cover beautifully, but they're not too full coverage, but they're very buildable, that you could build this up to full coverage. So I really have been enjoying this one. I've only used it a couple times. I've actually used it 3 times already, and I really like it. So that is the first concealer. And then the second one, y'all know I was going to get this because I absolutely love the skin tint from this brand. So this is the brand new Tower 28 Serum Concealer. So this is the Swipe Serum Concealer. And I got mine, of course, in the lightest shade, which is 1.0. I always get the lightest shade in every concealer. And I am wearing this concealer on my face today. This is only the second time I've used it. This one has a very big tube, but it's not like obnoxious, and it has a very weighty packaging. So it feels very high-end, to be honest. And I really, really like the lavender cap. I love the color that they use for everything. And again, this concealer is really, really nice. I like it's just a regular doe foot applicator. And again, it's super creamy, very easy to blend out, and I really like how it looks on the under eyes. It doesn't really crease too much either. So I really like this concealer too. I mean, like, I can't really prevent the creasing for myself, but it's just both of these concealers are so good that they're not like, they don't look like super terrible at the end of the day. They just have such a good formula, and I've absolutely been loving them. So, and then I got another cream blush, I know, but I really have been wanting to try other products from this brand because I've been kind of super curious about this brand. So I got one of the LYS Beauty cream blushes. So this is the Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. Now, I've been eyeing like these cream blushes for a while, and I finally decided just to order one of these along with the Makeup by Mario concealer and what other product I'm about to show you guys. So this is what the shade looks like. Of course, I had to pick up the peachy one, and I've only used this once, but I am really enjoying this formula so far. It's very, very nice, very pigmented, but very buildable and smooth. So I just really have been enjoying LYS as a brand lately, and I'm glad I've been trying a couple of other products from them. And every product that I've tried so far, I really have liked. So that is the cream blush. And then the last product that I got, and besides getting the Makeup by Mario concealer, which was the whole main reason why I made this order. I only ordered these 3 products. But Milk Makeup also came out with a new lip product. So this is the Milk Makeup Odyssey Lip Oil Gloss in the shade Explore. So this is like kind of like a hybrid lip gloss oil product. And this is what the packaging looks like. So, of course, I had to get the peachy one, and I really like the packaging. I love Milk Makeup's packaging. They always come out with really fun, like, futuristic packaging, and this is what the shade looks like. It is so pretty, you guys, and it feels so nice on the lips. At first, I wasn't obsessed with it because I didn't really love the scent of it. But then it kind of just, the scent just absorbs into your lips. And it's a really, really nice, comfortable lip oil gloss. Like, I don't really know if I've ever really tried something like this that's really similar. Like, the Fat lip oil is definitely more of like an oily product, but it kind of has a glossy finish to it. This one, when you put it on, it has that feeling of a lip oil, but like also you can feel like the glossiness, but it's like completely weightless. And it looks so beautiful. Like, it has the shine of a lip gloss, but like the nourishment of a lip oil. It's a really good product. So I really, really like this, and I've used it a couple of times already. Like, I need another gloss, like a hole in the head, but I really like that product. Okay, and then just a couple more things from Sephora. Okay, and then the last three things that I got. So I went to Sephora today because I wanted to exchange a couple things that I bought. So I did buy the new Fenty stick, and I also got the Fenty Beauty concealer. I wanted to repurchase the Fenty Beauty concealer, but then I forgot that I had ordered the Makeup by Mario one and it just hadn't come yet. And then I literally ordered the Tower 28 one, like literally the day after I got the Fenty Beauty stick and concealer, that I was like, why did I buy the Fenty one again? But I wanted to try it with the stick foundation, and I just ended up not liking the stick. I'm actually wearing the original Fenty Beauty Easy Skin Tint today because I wanted to see if I still love it, and I do. I love this product. It looks so pretty, and again, it just has such a natural finish to it, and it just looks like skin. With the stick products, it just would emphasize so much dryness on my cheeks and all around my nose. And also where my concealer would be applied, it was all like dry around this area too. So I was like, I only had tried it twice, and I'm like, I can't. I like don't like it. So I ended up exchanging it for 3 products. I didn't even know what I wanted to exchange it for, because honestly, there really wasn't anything I was too interested in getting. But then I was like, you know what? I kind of finally want to try one of these because everybody raves about these lip balms. So this is the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, and I got the shade, I don't even know. It doesn't even say the shade name on here, which is weird. But I believe this is like the light brown natural shade or whatever it's called. And I always see the Fancy Face use this in almost every look that she does because she just ends up popping this on. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try it. And also, you get a lot of products. I mean, it is like a $20 lip product, but I want to see what this is all about. It looks really, really nice. Ooh, that is really nice. That's really pretty. Okay. And it smells like vanilla. So I'm actually really excited to start using this. I'm probably going to use this tomorrow because I just go to my boyfriend's house tomorrow. So yeah, I just picked up one of those. I was like, you know what? I was on the line just to, like, at first I was just going to return the products, and I was like, you know what? I'll exchange it for one of these. So I got that. But then they were also having a foundation sale, and I was like, you know what? I actually am going to declutter this one, and this is my favorite foundation of all time. So they were having a 20% off sale on select foundations only this weekend. And originally I was going to pick up the Beauty Blender skin tint that I've eyed so many times because Kathleen Lights always talks about that it's like her favorite skin tint ever, but for some reason I've just never tried it. But I decided just to pick up another one of my favorite foundation of all time. So I picked up another one of my Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 25 up to 24-hour wear in the shade 120N. Now what's funny is that I think this is probably the 4th time that I've picked up this foundation. And the one that I have is pretty much expired. I think the last time that I used it, it kind of irritated my cheeks. Did she give me the wrong shade? I think, you know what? No, this is the right shade. So, like, I think that they changed up the shade selection with this. when they, you know, changed up the packaging, because I think they re-released this like last year. Or, but I asked her, like, did they reformulate it? And she said it's pretty much the same formula. I just think that they changed up some of the shades, and she was totally right. So I just picked up another one of these. So I got the shade 120N, and this one expires November of 2024. The one that I have now expired in June. So, like, I don't really feel like I should be using it anymore. I couldn't even find it on the Sephora app for us to find, like, what my shade was, because she wanted to use that in order to match me for the new shades that came out in the newer launched shades, but she just ended up matching me because, you know, obviously we couldn't find it on my Sephora app because I think it was older, and also, well, obviously it was older. I think I got it back in like 2021. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pick up another one of these. I really like how they changed up the outer packaging. It's really, really nice. But this is my all-time favorite foundation. So I just picked up that, and it was 20% off. So it was like $40 instead of like $57. So, and then the last thing that I got, so I picked this up on the line as well. They had like a mini size of it. I'm thinking about returning my Say primer, like the backup that I got, because I'm almost done with the one that I have. I use this almost every single day in the summertime, and I absolutely love it. But then I saw this, and I saw Batty Bean use this in her Get Ready With Me, I think like a couple of days ago, and it looked so beautiful on her skin that I was like, okay, I kind of want to try it. So I picked it up. So this is the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer. And this is the illuminating version. And this says a weightless universal... Oh, so it's very similar to the Say one. It's a gel primer, which is like the Say one. Enriched with ultra fine pearls from from within glow. So this is what it looks like. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of intrigued on trying it. So let's see how this feels. Oh, that is very similar to the Say one, but that's probably even more glowy. Oh, I'm excited to try that. That's really pretty. That gave my skin like such a beautiful pearlescent glow, like exactly what it said, and it's very, very hydrating. So I really wanted to try it. I was very intrigued, so I'm glad that I picked that up as well. So that's everything that I got from Sephora. And then I just have one thing from Target. So I picked up, I wanted to get this from Ulta, but then when I asked the girls in Ulta if they were going to get this, they said that they didn't think they were going to. So I found it at Target and I just picked it up there. So I got one of the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primers. I know, I picked up 3 primers recently. Who am I? Because I usually don't. I might pick up like 1 primer a year. So this is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. And this is the liquid version. Now, I was very interested in trying this because I've always wanted to try the original putty primer, but I always thought it was a little bit unsanitary to like stick your fingers into like a putty. So when they came out with the liquid version, I was very intrigued, and I've used this a ton. It's very nice, and it has like a very nice gripping quality to it that your foundation goes over really nicely. And I've been using this a ton, so I just picked up one of those. Okay, so 3 more products. So the next product is an eyeshadow palette, and I've been eyeing this brand for a while, and once they came out with this eyeshadow palette, I was like, I really want to try it because I thought it was just such a beautiful color story. So the brand that I'm talking about is the brand Bella Beaute Bar, and this is the Sun and the Sea eyeshadow palette. Now, I have posted a couple of looks on my channel with this palette, and this is what the color story looks like, and it's just absolutely stunning. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mattes and 9 shimmers, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So half matte and half shimmery. Let's go through the shades real quick. So we have Tan Line, Sandcastle, Sunbathe, Beach Babe, Overexposed, and Bask. We have Sunkissed, Mermazing. I was supposed to say Mesmerizing. Bikini, Daydream, Sunset, and Heat Wave. And then we have Water Nymph, Siren, Caribbean, Tide Pool, Waves, and Deep Dive. And I've heard nothing but amazing things about this brand, and ever since I saw Annette's Makeup Corner review this brand for the first time, I've just been keeping an eye on their eyeshadow palette releases because it was always a brand that intrigued me. So once this palette came out, and what's funny is that this is not a new palette from them, but it is reformulated and revamped. And once I saw this, I'm like, this is the perfect mix of neutrals and colorful shades from this brand, because a lot of their other palettes were very colorful. And I am absolutely in love with this formula. The shimmers in here are absolutely stunning, and the mattes just blend beautifully, and they're so pigmented and just stunning. So I've been absolutely loving this palette. The shimmers are insane in here. Even if I swatch them, you're not really going to see how stunning they actually are. Like, in person, they are absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to swatch these three shades for you guys. But every single shimmer in this palette has like a duochrome or a multi-chrome shift to them. So now I understand why it's a $65 palette, but it is so worth it because they are so insanely beautiful. And I would pay like $100 for these because they are just amazing. So this is what some of the shimmers look like. Like, you can't even see like the shift in person. I mean on camera, but in person they're so beautiful. So this one is Siren, this one is Mermazing, and this one is Water Nymph, and it's insane how much they shift and how beautiful they actually are in person. Oh my god, they are stunning. If you've been thinking about getting something from this brand, I highly suggest that you do if you have the funds. And the mattes in here are insane. They are so good. They are so pigmented. So this one is Waves and this one is Bikini. Do you see that? Those are so pigmented and they're so soft and easy to work with. So there are some of the matte shades, and I'm just obsessed with this palette. I've only been able to use all of the shimmers once. The only one that I haven't used yet on my lid is the shade Sunkissed, but I'll tell you guys right now, I'm absolutely obsessed with this palette. I love like the more neutral leaning shimmers as well, but I'm not swatching every single shimmer. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of them. And the browns in here are beautiful, and they just, I love this palette. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. I'm just absolutely in love with the formula. I think they did such an amazing job, and I love the color story. So I would say if you want to get like a Cliona shadow, but you haven't been wanting to spend the money on them, I think that Bella Beaute Bar is a great option and a great alternative because they have beautiful finishes of multi-chrome and duochrome shadows in the palettes that, like, if you didn't want to spend the money, I don't know how I got a makeup swatch up there. It probably happened when I passed one of the stands in the Sephora store. But of course, after I just swatched those, it like is so glittery on my hand now. So yeah, love that palette. It's beautiful and I can't wait to use it again. Hopefully I'll be able to use it soon, but I do have another eyeshadow palette to try. So the last brand I wanted to talk about is the brand Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and Blend Bunny just came out with a new face and eye palette. So I picked up their brand new Blend Bunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not Versatile Eye and Face Palette. When I got this, I didn't know that this was going to be so huge. But I have been waiting for Blend Bunny to come out with a more neutral palette because I really do like Blend Bunny as a brand and I really like their formula. I only have the All Done Up palette and I absolutely love the highlighting palette. The Noctilucent palette is amazing. So when they announced that they were coming out with a more neutral palette, I was like, I'm 100% getting it. But again, I didn't think it was going to be this big. But I understand that it's a versatile face and eye palette. So, but I'm mostly going to use it for an eye palette. So I haven't tried it out yet. But I have been using like just a couple of shades here and there. I just received it 2 days ago and I've only used like 3 of the shades so far. So it has 12 mattes and 4 highlight shades. So we have Brighter Days, A Moment, Room Service, and All I Need. Then we have Remember, Anticipation, Together, and Here and Now. Then we have Picture Perfect, Unforgettable, In the Plan, and Say Yes. And then the last row of shimmers, we have Cheers, Butterflies, Magical, and Memories. So I'm very excited to try it out. For me, again, I'm mostly going to be using this as an eyeshadow palette, but I have tried 1 or 2 of these shades as highlighters, and I haven't tried really any of the mattes yet, but I'm very excited to try it out. So I'll just swatch some of these. The highlighters are so pretty, and the matte shades are the same blendable soft formula that Blend Bunny is known for. So there are some of the shades. So this one is Cheers, this one is Butterflies, and this one is Anticipation. The highlight shades are so pretty. I've only tried the shade Cheers as a face highlight, and I did pop on a tiny bit of Memories on my inner corners today, just a little bit of, to add a little bit of extra shine, and then I popped on a tiny bit of Brighter Days on the brow bone, just to brighten it up a little bit, and I feel like that's how I'm going to use the palette a lot. I feel like I'm going to keep this next to me a lot. You know, just to, you know, have something that will be like an everyday kind of deepening kind of palette. Like, if I need the Natasha Denona palette to be deeper and I want it to be smokier, I might take one of these matte shades and just put them on the outer corners. And there's some of the other shades. This one is Unforgettable, this one is Here and Now, and this one is A Moment. And I'll just swatch those for you guys too. Very, very pigmented. Very excited to try this out. I was going to try it out today, but then I ended up staying home because I was just too tired. And I wanted to film the haul video, and I'm going to film a first impressions on this tomorrow. So I'm very excited to use it. I just don't know how much I would use these tones as a face palette because they're all very cool toned for me. Obviously, this last row I'm going to use as eyeshadows because they're all too dark for me. But even when I wanted to use some of these for like a bronzer, I don't think these tones are really tones I would go for besides the shade Anticipation, because all the other tones are like more contour kind of colors. So yeah, I'm very excited to try it out. And none of these are really like blush shades for me either. So we'll see. And then the last thing that I got, oh my god, I'm so out of breath. You have no idea. So the last thing that I got is one of the face palettes from Blend Bunny. So I have been eyeing the blush palettes for so long that I finally decided to get one of them. And since these shades in this palette weren't going, in the eye and face palette weren't really blush shades for me, I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick up one of the blush palettes because I'm going to keep on eyeing these and I'm going to want to get one of them. So I finally did. So this is the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Bare Cheeks blush palette. And you would think that I would get the Juicy palette because you guys know how much I love like orangey tone blushes. But I thought that these blushes were just more so everyday shades for me. So I decided to pick up the blush palette. The Bare Necessities one. Oh my god, I need to stop talking. Oh my god. So the shades are Making Me Blush, Baby Girl, Love Me, Just a Touch, In Charge, Power Play, Stripped, and In the Buff. So I actually have tried 2 of the shades. I tried the shade Making Me Blush yesterday. It was a really nice peachy tone blush. And then today I have on Just a Touch. These are so nice. And I'm very excited to try out the rest of the shades, but they have a very nice, very pigmented, but they're also very blendable. So there are some of the shades for you guys. So this one is Power Play, this one is Baby Girl, and this one is Making Me Blush. Very pigmented, very easy to use. But I have to go in light-handed with them. But I'm very excited to try out this red shade. But again, it's not like I needed another blush like a hole in the head. But I was very curious about trying these blush palettes for so long. So that's why I just decided to pick one up. And I'm very happy with it. And I feel like I'm going to keep this blush palette in front of me for a while as well. Like, if I don't want to go into my drawers and try to find a blush that I want to use, I think I'm just going to reach for this. So yeah, that is it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. And let me know if you guys have tried out any of these products. And first impressions of all these products will be on my channel. Mostly all of the eyeshadow palettes, I always do a first impression. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.